right, so this is episode 2 of the Goob Squad's podcast. Today we have me, of course, Sean, iragephage, and then our other newly introduced into this podcast is going to be...
This Boris, also known as Cardboard Rage.
There's me. I'm back again. Apollo, also known as Deadlock Chaos on the PSN. And we're back again. Second episode. You thought we were just here for one episode, one and done, but we're back. We're going to be here every week. Alright, that's it.
Cool. Alright, so, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this right now, we're on Borderlands, and that's going to be our topic. So we're actually gonna play the game while we do this podcast, and two of us right now hasn't played in a while, but we'll talk about what we like about it, what we dislike about it, and what we expect from it, maybe even, and also like at a grander scale, why Borderlands exists in the kind of gaming landscape that we're in right now. So I'm gonna let Paulo go through the topics, and he'll lead us down the rabbit hole.
Alright, yeah. I mean, since we're playing Borderlands now, we might as well just talk about that first. So we're playing Borderlands 3, and we've been playing it since launch, playing all the DLC, and we all have the DLC now. Boris has played it. Sean and I haven't played it yet. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I had to adjust my sound. So we're playing it. We all enjoy the game. I was talking a little bit before we started recording. There's some nice quality of life changes here, which is nice. But I mean, it's a cool game, and I was talking to Sean before the recording when we were sort of hammering down the topics a little bit. Borderlands 3, people have problems with it. I get it. Some people sort of criticize it for being it took what, like 6 years almost to the day from
Hello.
There you go.
Hi.
Perfect. We're in the middle of recording right now.
So, Carlos, make your quick introduction.
Wait, we're starting the channel right now?
Oh, we're already in. We're recording it right now.
We literally just started.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I thought I was just barely 3 hours late. I'm glad I'm no longer running in Latino time. But hello, my name is Antimatter Burst. That's actually what my actual mother named me when I was a child, even though she did not speak a lick of English. She was weird like that.
Okay, so let's go with the first one then. I need to type this stuff
Borderlands?
Now that I think about
No, that
Alright.
there is no no, I mean this is like, that show, whose line is it anyways? The topics don't, the topics are made up, the structure doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Okay, the first topic was, because I can't remember right now.
Borderlands 3.
Alright.
Why we like it, we think it's important, or whatever.
Alright, I'll go first. I like this game because it does well with the loot, and it's not like most games where the loot is so extremely important to your gameplay experience. There's a lot of looter shooter games that put such an emphasis on these numbers that you need to reach, and it takes away from the experience of the game, where you're like, but wait, I have to get what weapons and armor and whatever gear level bullshit. In this, it has never been.
Division 2.
Yeah, it has never been. It's never been an issue where, I'm not, at a high enough level for this, so I'll just lower the difficulty. It's just that easy, It's not like I'm you know, committed to, oh great, this entire map is blocked out to me because I fucking am not at the level that I'm supposed to be at. Which is, you know, frustrating, but, and it's frustrating because so many games do it in the looter-shooter landscape, and yet Borderlands has been doing it right since the beginning, and they're the fucking ones that started it, to be honest. In my opinion, they started it with the first-person shooter, looter-shooter, and, like, was always sticking with that motto, alright, let's make a game
with guns.
Let's make a game where anybody can jump in. It's frictionless when it comes to just having fun, you know?
Yeah.
And that's still the same today. Like, it, you know, everybody has their range of commitment too, where like, oh, you know, if you're the kind of player that plays this to every possible difficulty, there's plenty of stuff for you. You know, there's plenty of stuff to make you keep playing. And there are those people, and I think all four of us kind of range from quite a variety of type of kind of gamer. So yeah, that's where I think right now for me, why I like Borderlands and where it like kind of fits well and is necessary in this kind of gaming landscape with looter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like sort of touching on what you were saying about it feeling like where it's not gated or anything.
Oh right, yeah.
It's important. It's important to sort of say that a lot of games and services these days, publishers, and you know sometimes the developers, but it's usually the publishers forcing the developers to artificially inflate or bloat the game to make it like that.
Right.
So, and if, for example, a lot of games, what they'll do is, or a lot of publishers or basically in games, they'll make the game intentionally grindy. They'll make it more grindy so that you are more incentivized to say, oh, there's something here that lets me level up twice as fast, so I'm gonna get that. Like it's purely a money grab, and unfortunately that affects the game. Like, and we're not just talking about multiplayer games. I mean, they did that with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and things like that, where they had something exactly like that, where you could level up faster. But in turn, they made the game more grindy, specifically for that reason, and it you know, it took away from the game. I loved it, and I didn't actually feel that it was grindy, but most people did, and I totally understood that. And so in this day and age of stuff like that, and multiplayer looter shooters like that, it's interesting to see Borderlands 3, despite, you know, and again, what I was saying sort of right before Carlos jumped on was that a lot of times these days you have games where they're a lot of times these days you have it where games, the reason why Borderlands 3 is like kind of it's old, but it's what old is new again. It's sort of that adage incarnate, I feel like, because like this is not new. Right. Like like this whole concept of like, oh, just jump in and play. It's just you buy a $60 game and you get the game, and you don't have to buy anything else. And there's no gates. There's no oh, you buy this, you know, buy this new armor or this whatever. You know, it's literally as simple as it can be. Where it's just like, hey, get on this game, play with friends. It's super simple. And
it's a pretty timeless loophole. You know, it's one game loop that you can just keep playing over and over without getting tired, without feeling bogged down by, like, you know, numbers. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's the loop, but that's definitely true. But it's also the fact that like we haven't gotten a game like this in a long time. Like pretty much because of the games of service model that really rules the multiplayer landscape these days. And so I get people's, you know, their opinions and sort of their critiques of the game of it being like, oh, there's just like a sort of an up-res Borderlands 2, where it's like, and I don't disagree with that. It is pretty much Borderlands 2, but with slightly refined combat and, you know, a new story and stuff, and new dialogue and all that, but it's pretty much the same. But I feel like we need that, we need this right now, and I think that's why we and so many other people have latched on this game, for such a long time, and I think we'll continue coming back to it at least every couple of months. Yeah, I mean...
Hey guys, could I get an invite into the game?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're not in the... I didn't even realize you weren't in the game.
Isn't that like usual?
Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to even focus as much. It's even, like,
No, that's fine.
It's actually not,
I mean,
actually, I'm honestly...
This is the point where you could have insulted me. I can't believe you missed it.
Actually, Boris is doing everything.
I haven't honestly been doing anything,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
like
hey,
I'm
Boris.
trying to do something, but I'm probably just gonna end up standing in a corner when I talk, because like,
Yeah.
what I just said, I had the thoughts formulated, and they came out like garbage, because I was just like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm having a seizure while I'm trying to talk.
Imagine if we were playing Apex, it'd be impossible.
Oh yeah.
That would be straight up impossible. But
I do the exact opposite thing where like if I start talking and I actually start making, concentrate and talk so much, whatever it is that I'm doing in the meantime just becomes total shit. Like I remember working at the distance store, and I just had a conversation with with another coworker, and my manager just happened to walk by, and he notices that I'm just messing around with the exact same shirt without actually folding it for the past 15 minutes.
alright,
It all
so...
works
again,
out. I'm
that's
glad
why
I don't work
I'll
for
probably
Sean.
be standing in a corner for
Alright,
most of this, and Boris will just be throwing it
Alright,
up.
yeah, pretty much Boris is the Thor in our team right now. Well, okay, so who else hasn't talked about like what their impressions and what their thoughts about and we haven't said anything negative yet too, like what's not what isn't working for this, but we'll get into that in a second. But I don't think everybody had a chance to talk about like what their experience is like for Borderlands and why do we keep on coming back every so often. It's not like we're overcommitted to this game, but we come back to it like when new DLC comes
So that
out.
is part of it too, right? Where you can, it is what you were saying before, Sean, where you can just jump in and jump out.
Right.
Like that's the appeal of it. There's not a huge commitment to like, oh well, like let's say something like Destiny, where it's like, oh well, if I stop playing for like 6 months and come back, it's exactly what you were talking about yesterday, College, when we were playing Apex, where you're like, you came back after however long of not playing Destiny, and you're like, wait, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, what's going on? Like,
overwhelming.
and there's that, there's that method, or there's that like great. You have to like reacclimate to the game, and it takes time, and you're not sure. Whereas this is like you jump back in, it's just like, oh yeah, let's just shoot stuff, and they, let's just I guess kind of sort of take in the story, but pretty much take in like all the humor and the funny, stupid shit that like the NPCs are saying, and it's super simple and it's laid back, and it's like that's part of the appeal of it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that there's something else that I really like that you said, Sean, and that is the fact that, are you dying? It looks like you're dying.
Oh yeah.
Let me go get you. And it's that, sure, you can definitely, there's a, one for new loot and stuff, but the power creep is so enormous that you just, focus on the numbers, It isn't just about, the weapon being 1,000 times more powerful instead of your, other weapon being only 100 times more powerful.
Yeah.
The fact that, the weapons actually do have tangible effects that are just fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean that I don't honestly, since I even beat the game, I think I've changed out my one of my guns. Like I don't even really care anymore, and like that's totally fine. Like you can kind of just go through and like my weapons are powerful enough, and I'm kind of just looking for like duplicates of the weapons I have because I'm super comfortable with.
Yeah, that's a good point right now. That is a perfect segue for this. We're on Mayhem 8 and True Vault Hunter.
I didn't even realize that.
Basically everything's level 60.
That's kind of the thing.
You can't even tell.
Cool.
Like it's committed to the fact that you can't even tell right now because
I mean,
how
to be
much
fair, again, Boris is doing most of the work.
He's doing so much carrying right now.
I can still play this and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I'm like not ready for this level at all.
And I will have to say, like, in all these other games. I mean, we're no slouches. We've played other games before together, and played Division, Destiny. I mean, what other fucking looter shooters are out there? But anyways, like those like the major ones that I can think of right now. That
Pretty much all the big ones.
yeah,
honestly.
when one person is like leveled up farther ahead than anybody else, it's like it's not a fun experience anymore. You know?
Yeah.
But versus what we're dealing with right now, even though we are vastly lower level and probably under geared for Mayhem 8, we're still having fun. Like this fucking color explosion that's happening right now is fantastic. It's still
It's
fun.
pretty much. It's stealing an expression from one of our favorite YouTubers. This is basically Christmas light diarrhea. This is more like cholera.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Boris, what you played plenty with us. Not much Destiny, but you played quite a bit of
For the better.
of your RPG looter games. What games have you played before that you would like to like? If you happen to name a few that you played, so that the viewers will know your like gameplay experience. If you
Yeah, being like playing a lot of looter shooter, like the first Borderlands, the collecting edition, the first division.
Just
right, Division and Borderlands. Oh shit! See,
could I get a rebuy?
the second that he gets distracted. All the
yeah.
viewers that are watching this right now, oh man, our main guy is not our main guy no more. the second that we have to concentrate on the conversation. All right, hold on. All right.
I mean, I'm just concentrating on pressing R2.
Again, I'm
Pretty much,
barely paying attention of the game. To be honest.
Here, I got you, Apollo.
I'm dead.
No, fuck! Why do you have to die now?
That's so funny.
Now you made.
But yeah, yeah, you know, actually, Boris, yeah, you have quite an experience with playing, you know, fully committing to like the end game, and you've been playing this game quite a bit. You have all characters, right? Like level 60.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wish I had any dedication whatsoever.
Yeah, he's full commit on that, for sure. Yeah, and then, like, what about for Division? Have you, played any of, like, how far did you get in Division?
Which one? The first one?
Or
or
the,
second?
well, I mean, hell,
This-
both, all, you know, just so that, you know, the people watching and hearing all this, get ideas what kind of gamer you are.
Yeah, like the first Division game I had was in Steam game PC.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
How far did you get into it? Did you like finish it? Did you like?
Yeah, I finished like
Okay.
for the PC. The first Division I finished like yeah, like almost like everything except for the PvP.
Oh, yeah,
you didn't really
yeah,
need
so
to
it's
play that, to
Nobody-
be honest. But
Yeah.
It wasn't like worth like playing after like
In fact, you were one of the lucky ones who missed out on the PvP.
yeah.
I don't think I played the
So,
PvP either. I saw it, but I was
The first
like, nah.
the first time I played the Dark Zone PvP, yeah,
Yeah.
it was like alright, yeah, having fun
Yeah.
until like they patch it. I don't know what they fixed or something. Then it started to get worse. Like, just like every person like knows like which gun is the OP or like the meta.
Right.
Oh, it became...
Well, yeah, and there was the fact that, I mean, especially in the first division, it was also the fact that it was so
Yeah.
easy for people to just totally exploit the insanely complicated number systems that they had in play, and so they would just have like the DPS of like 1 million, and it was just like that became the norm, and that's when a lot of people started dropping off.
Right.
You know, that was exactly my main example of like games where like you just, it's just all about the power creep. It's all about, getting higher numbers on your guns.
Right.
Like,
Eventually,
none of the guns actually
the
did
balances
it.
just get thrown off by just that one fact.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it actually broke the game.
Yeah.
Like with the first one, it like literally broke the game and made it borderline unplayable for the longest time. And I remember they kept trying to fix it, and every time they tried to fix it, they would like players would just break it immediately again, and they would have to like go back and try to go back in the lab and keep trying to repair it, and it just didn't work out. They improved it a lot, I think, with the second one, but there's still definitely elements of that still in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What was the?
There's so much bullshit going on.
Oh yeah.
In the street.
Well, what's the other topic that? So we talked about like this compared to other games, right? Like, and why we keep coming back.
I mean, yeah, and again, just to sort of say a little bit of this game is Borderlands 3 is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
All right. Like, what's the negative side that?
The UI in this game
compared
is
to others?
garbage. It's like really bad, mostly because they feel the need to shove an animation into every fucking menu screen,
Oh, right.
and that slows it down immensely. So you're like in the middle of a battle, and you're like, you pick up a new weapon, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna equip this new weapon, and people are shooting at you, but you're in cover, and you should be good. But then you open up the menu, and because you have, for whatever reason, Gearbox feels the need to show you your character like emoting or like using their ability in the menu screen, it takes like 30 seconds, sometimes more, for it to like load into your stuff, and it's really ridiculous. And that's a common problem among games these days with like they just overcomplicate the UI. But like Borderlands is unfortunately like one of the prime examples in the last couple of years, and
right.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have like a laggy menu.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
ever heard of
last
that?
place. That's the last place that lag should be, is in the menu. And another thing is that's like super outdated about this game is that there are I don't know if they patched this like in or fixed this, but as far as I know, there's still unskippable cutscenes, like, which is ridiculous in 2020. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like in 2012, when Borderlands 2 came out, that it was annoying, but that was fine. It was just like, okay, this is kind of everything. But
Even
these
by
days,
then,
every
even
game,
by those standards.
yeah, I mean, even then it wasn't great. But again, like so many games were still doing that. These days, no, like you can always skip cutscenes in games. You can always pause cutscenes. It's just a normal thing. But Borderlands 3 comes out and it's just like, hey, you know this cutscene that you like die, especially when you're like on a difficult like area, or you're playing a raid, or you're doing something like that, and you keep dying again and again, and you have to keep restarting and like seeing the cutscene again and again, and you can't skip it.
Or you're playing normal, and then you want to play True Vault Hunter, and guess what? You have to play all that shit all over again. Yeah. Even with the cutscenes that they did cut out, like make skippable, there's still some that they haven't fixed. But I don't know. I mean, at the same time, when by the time they're recording right now, it could change. Or I haven't played it enough to see the ones that they did change. I think I agree. It's pretty immensely about the UI. Like the UI, like these really basic things that other games has already knows to fix. Like for some reason, it's kind of overlooked. And, I'll give the benefit of the doubt if it's one of those situations where, it's an oversight because they were already busy doing other things, maybe, but at the same time, they had so many years, like, at what point does that give them the excuse? Or was there something logistically happening? Because I know, like, the life cycle of, like, games these days is very hard to do because, the programs and the things that they made for one part of the game might be completely outdated, or the software they were using, because now, like, oh, we're changing systems now, or we gotta make this be able to play both on, one system versus another system, and they have to, like, consider all that, and then those small things actually end up breaking the stupidest things.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, in terms of, like, my experience when it came to, like, scripting and making games, some things will break, and you have no idea why it broke. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's that old story about Uncharted 3 when they were developing it, and they were like 1 week out from like it going gold, and it like going into certification, and they were playing the game. They were playing like one of the final builds of the game on 2 different screens side by side, and on one screen, Drake goes around a corner and the game keeps going. And the other screen, he goes around the corner and the game crashes. And they're like, we don't know what the fuck is happening.
Right.
Like, and it, you know, this is a week out before the game is supposed to be finished.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they had to scramble,
That's
and obviously they fixed it and they made their launch date. But that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Right. Like, the second you add something, it blows something up, even if it's super simple.
Yeah, there's a million different components that have to work in complete synergy to make the game just, you know, run properly.
Yeah,
So.
and it's great that you mentioned that, and mentioned, like, you know, especially the way the game industry works when making games like that the coining the word of, you know, this is when the gold disc is literally it, where they make the first actual final game,
Right.
that is playable. It doesn't look like it has a label on it. It's just written on there sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's like a real thing, and it's like, you know, like we were complaining about these things, but we know, like, this shit ain't easy. So if you're a viewer or you're
by
a
no means, we are not developers.
Yeah, we're not developers.
And we're not like, oh, this is super easy. No, I would like. Sean went to school for this stuff. You know, I studied some of this stuff when I was reviewing games and just sort of getting entrenched in the game industry. And we're all, you know, pretty up to date on the game industry. We follow it. So like, we are by no means saying, oh, I could do this. No problem. Of course
definitely
not.
not.
But you know, we're literally just acting from the standpoint of very casual critics.
Right.
Yeah, we can barely swallow our own saliva without choking. I mean, they're definitely not the genius
we
they
are,
were going
we
to.
are man children by all.
And you know,
you hear that,
if you're
ladies?
listening to us, like, I think of all people, of all like reviewers out there that has like or people that have impressions on games, like, I feel like we have a stance that kind of like is very objective. Like, you know, like we understand maybe some of our own biases that may play into it, but we recognize it and, you know, call it out. And then, you know, we just want to, like, you know, express to other people that, you know, this is where we're coming from. And I just wanted to emphasize that. But yeah, you know, again, let's going back to Borderlands. Hey, you know, that, you know, it's one of those things where it's they're doing all the basic things right, and then like some of the smaller basic stuff is like, man, like, whoa, how did this just disappear all of a sudden?
Right.
It's like, where did my sound go?
Oh god.
Yeah,
God.
that definitely happens all the time.
Bug, that one's hilarious. The bug
where just bits of your sound basically disappear one piece at a time. Like, you'll be shooting and then maybe the sound of your bullets, you know, disappears, and then next the sound of the NPCs screaming disappears, and then the dialogue for your character disappears, and bit by bit you basically in the game you're going deaf. Very slowly. And you'll hear bits of sound here and there, like a scream or a bullet or something, and it doesn't. Sometimes it repairs itself. A lot of times it doesn't.
Or what about this? Okay, right now, if you're looking at the screen, I'm on Antimatter Burst's tank, and they still haven't changed it till now, where I can't see past my fucking character. Like, the character takes half the screen, and the reticle even, like, you know, bleeds over the character. These are the kind of simple things what we're talking about. Like,
we're getting off.
It's okay, all right. But
oh, you can still remain on it. That's so cool. I can still see you.
Oh, okay, nice. But like, while I'm shooting, if you're seeing the screen, for those that are watching, you could tell like what the error is, right? Like, I can't see half my screen while shooting. And then for those that's listening only, it's a pain in the ass if you're watching this. So I can only describe it to you. That's annoying, and that's such a simple thing. In the grand scheme of things, probably hard for them to fix, but for a gamer, like, oh my god, that's just such a simple, annoying thing that really kind of affects how we play, you know? And same thing with those cutscenes. Like, really, I have to go through these cutscenes, like, while playing True Vault Hunter mode? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I've already went through the test of time to go through all that issue. Why do I have to go through this suffering again? But what else is, like, not doing well for, like, does anybody else have something that Borderlands does not do well that, you know, maybe other looter shooters do better? If anybody has anything.
I mean, to me, in general, I still find it hard to figure out which gun is better.
Yes.
You know, it really
so
isn't...
agree with you. It's just so many numbers on the screen, and you're just like, I don't know if it's actually gonna help me or not. I've come to realize that it's not just better numbers. It's just kind of like what
how they interact with like your setup and what kind of damage they do and what kind of buffs. It's like, you know,
it's kind of a investment in that. But at the same time,
there's a whole cascading effect.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's more like you have all this freedom, but now you just don't know what to do because you have all the freedom in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, and then you have to like micromanage your loot, where you're spending 20 minutes looking at this pile of loot that dropped, and one gun. You have two basically identical guns, but like the numbers are just slightly off, and you're like. You sit there, you just kind of frozen, like, okay,
should I use
which
this?
one should I pick?
Yeah.
Like, should I, you know?
Should I commit to this? And we've come to, I mean, it's a gripe, definitely, that we go through, but I think all of us have come to the realization, we just need to, alright, try the gun out. Does it work? Does it not work?
For sure.
Okay,
For
it
sure.
doesn't work. Yeah. Don't throw away your previous gun, because we've all done that before. Or at least one of us has. I mean, I don't know. I've definitely done that before, where I like threw away a gun thinking that this other version of the gun was better, but then it was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Something's not happening right. So I think that's like that one's more of a double-edged sword. Like, it's bad that there's just too much of this option, and then there's not a clear cut like, hey, this gun's better, use this one.
I mean that did not start with Borderlands 3 though. That's been an issue with this series from the jump.
Right.
From the very first game. So it's just a problem that they haven't ironed out yet.
I mean,
that hopefully they will whenever they come out.
The reason why I bring that up
in this game.
Yeah, the reason why I bring that up is that like Destiny was like, you knew exactly what gun was better. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with that one, where you knew exactly what gun was better, and everything else was junk all the time. Like,
well, yeah, and you would do all these difficult runs of like nightfalls and bullshit, and then you get the same pair of shoes 5 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, come on, come on, just let me buy the fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't mean like in terms of like with real money. I mean like, let me earn in-game points. I don't care how hard it is. Just tell me how to get the gun, and I will get it.
Exactly.
Rather than it being completely based on RNG.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous when you had to go through all that. It's just a sense of lack of accomplishment. Wait, go on. Yeah, you were saying, Carl?
Yeah, well, but just saying that game suffers of exactly what I was talking about, though. And you were talking about the fact that that game was just about having bigger numbers on some guns, and you know, very few guns actually had fun effects that actually, you know, change the way you play. Like, for example, there's the Midas multi-tool. That is one of the best rifles in the game, simply because it was a stable. That was pretty much the only reason why people, you know, play that gun, because it didn't, because it simply, you know, didn't have all the recoil that all the other rifles have. And like, you know, in this ones we have acidic guns that shoot, you know, missiles with fire on it. It just changes the gameplay, you know.
Yeah.
Right. You're not beholding to like the gun that does the best
damage. Exactly. It's not just about, you know, bigger numbers better. This game actually has fun.
Right. You could have four different I don't know, sirens, but they all play differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or like in Destiny, it was like, hey, everybody's different classes, but everybody's fucking using the same gun. Because everybody knows that's
Pretty
the
much.
only gun that's fucking useful.
Right.
Ooh.
So it's like exact opposites in that. Alright, so cool. Is anybody else got anything? Like, something that's bad about Borderlands that other games... I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to have other games that do well, but...
I mean, I feel like I've pretty much... I feel like we've covered everything.
Right, okay. Boris, do you have any thoughts?
How many?
About the RNG, the ratio.
Right.
What do you mean?
Okay. Go on. Continue. So what about the RNG?
You saying you don't? Do you
Yeah,
like it, the RNG, or you don't?
You know, like we're in like the normal like no mayhem mode. Like your RNG like show up like with a lot bunch of white loot or like normal
Mm-hmm.
Is it you mean wait,
Huh?
what?
I mean like you know like
Yeah, I don't know if you're coming out
you're in
clear.
you know when you're like in like the normal level like your RNG sometimes like yeah you got sometimes you get a good loot while in like even if you're in like a higher level
Yeah.
higher level this like I think it's a small percent you get nothing, no drops.
I see.
Oh, okay.
So you're like there's not enough of a reward for playing like harder difficulties because of the RNG.
Okay, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, there has been moments where we've played hard like difficulty like areas and we're like
yeah,
we
takedowns or
haven't gotten
circles of
anything out of it."
slaughters
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's just like, did anybody get anything worth getting? It's like, nope. It's like, okay, well, I guess move on to the next thing then.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That definitely has happened.
but when like we play on like normal difficulty, you get something
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's suddenly in normal. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's suddenly in normal
Right,
difficulty
right.
for some reason.
Where
you
it's
get
like
something
it
good.
almost doesn't make sense. Like, okay, you're playing on normal and you're getting better stuff than like playing on Mayhem 4. That's there's something like out of balance there for sure.
Right. Like the reward doesn't match the difficulty, basically.
It's like the RNG doesn't scale with the difficulty.
Okay.
right? Like
yeah.
it's
I hear you on that.
Yeah,
it's
that,
like
that
off
is definitely
kilter.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Like I definitely feel that every so often, where it's just like, did I get anything out of that? Like I feel like nothing dropped.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of
I've gone long stretches in this game without getting anything like worth getting. Unfortunately, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the sort of that's the name of the game with RNG-based games like this, with looter shooters. Unfortunately, I feel like every RNG-based looter shooter that
Got
we've
you,
played,
mister.
especially in the PS4 generation,
Oh, I don't got you.
has been like that to some extent. Whether it's Division or Destiny or whatever, there's sometimes there's some days where you're like, oh man, I'm getting the weapons I want, I'm getting good stuff, and then there's other days where it's just like, it's been a week and I haven't gotten anything like anything worth like trading any of my weapons for.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the name of the game with RNG stuff like this. But I mean, that's also sort of an issue, right? Is that it is much of a sort of breath of fresh air, even though it's what's old is new. Again, with Borderlands 3, as much of a breath of fresh air as this game is, in many ways, that is sort of still an issue that it shares with all those other games we were talking about.
Right.
Just because it's RNG based.
Yeah, and is it? Then the question is like, will we ever find a way to get around that, or like, is
Right.
there? I mean, shoot, if I was like, if I had a chance to like get behind the scenes and kind of like tinker around and experiment with game design, I would actually try and do something where each player gets like maybe something that you get through quests even, that they actually customize how their RNG works. So like maybe like you beat certain bosses and you like these bosses, you like the experience, but you also like the loot that they drop. Maybe then there's like maybe a shop owner. Like, I mean, if you ever played Diablo, there's like those things where like you get to change the affixes, which is like the stats of your each weapon you got, and get to like, hey, I want to customize my stat on my armor to be more crit based. So I like this armor, but I don't like some of these other things, so I'm going to re-roll the stat. So there's that thing element of, you know, putting RNG under your control, sort of, but you still have to work for it. So I was thinking, what if you could do that same thing for the game, but you literally are saying, hey, this is the kind of role I want. Like this is what I'm aiming for. And then, like, as you progress through the game, you get to more and more, put more, like, stats towards your role, or your random role, saying, hey, these are the kind of, you know, hey, I feel like I'm gonna want to get a lot of helmets. You know, I want to upgrade the specific helmet. So, you know, let's take out the chances of how many boots I get versus you know, and you could only get that if you could do specific quests at certain difficulties. So maybe then like that would make, you know, you playing this kind of, you know, getting to that end game a little bit more sweeter, because you know exactly what you're gonna get and you're gonna play a specific way. And I don't know, like imagine that. It's almost like customizing your menu, or I mean, I can even relate it to things like Final Fantasy, was it 12? No, was it 12? I think it was 10.
The online one?
No, not the online one. Shoot.
15?
Is it 15? No. It's whatever Final Fantasy that had the Gambit system. Where they customize your AI.
Yeah, I think it's 12. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
12. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I always thought that was such a weird thing to do. Like, am I really playing this game to just customize my AI, right?
Right. Where you want the gameplay in itself. Yeah, I remember that
So
one.
what if you could, like, you know, you get the rewards you want through gameplay and the difficulty stuff, but what if you could get rewarded also by changing the customization of how RNG works for you? Because you want to play a certain way, and you only want to get those certain weapons, but, you know, it's a pull of everything, you know? You don't want to get everything, you want to get something specific. So why not do that? You know, they already do something similar like this in Borderlands, where you get the random change the mayhem affixes, and you can just re-roll it until you get what you want. Like, you can play in a way where, like, oh, I'm resistance against a certain element, so I'm gonna random roll the difficulty so that I'm in the advantage. And then, you know, obviously, because you focus so much doing that, then you're gonna have to worry about the other elements. But, you know, that's how you want to play. So maybe that could be something that you could do. Don't know. But what was it? So yeah, all Borderlands games have these like issues where, or all these type of games have that issue where we run into it, where the loot isn't great because of RNG, because it's too big of a pool of stuff to go through. What else was there? What was the other topic? I'm trying to remember. Is that all the topics?
Is Apex? No. I mean, we've only done the Borderlands one.
Okay.
How about just? Oh, okay, I have a miscellaneous one. What's a game that if you know, what is the one game that you would cry the most if somebody erased your file, you know, your save file?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh my god.
Save file.
Yeah. So one that you're really proud of, that you got everything, and that you know that if you had to go back to, you would just hate yourself.
I mean, I'm just gonna go with Apex right now, because that would suck. Because because
Good, actually good one.
That's me, but at the same time, it's more like not the it's not the skins, by the way, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I feel like you can always earn back or whatever. I feel like it's just the stats that like, this is like years of me playing that game right now. So, or a year, you know, of playing it so
really?
much.
That you would care about like losing that?
I feel like I would, because I don't know, like the other games, I feel like I'd be willing to be able to play through it again. Because I wouldn't be willing to play through Apex all over again just to climb back up through, say, like, the stats that I originally had or whatever. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's something not saved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like most of the game saves for me, like, I'll go back. I guess, yeah. I don't feel like it's...
Yeah, it depends on the game.
I don't know.
Me personally, I wouldn't care about Apex just because it is like, yeah,
that's fine.
My stats are great anyway, and I don't.
We have to agree.
But like, well, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, my view on it is like, I wouldn't care about Apex or any other game like that, even really this game. But like, just sticking with something like Apex or Fortnite or any battle royale thing, it's just like, I don't care, because it's just like, the stats don't matter to me. The skins and stuff, like, nice. I don't know, whatever. And then the gameplay is literally just rinse and repeat anyway.
Right.
So I don't really. I feel like something that I would care about more, like a game that I think something like, if I was playing a From Software game, and this did happen to me, so I'm kind of going from experience. If I played through a whole From Software game, which I did with Bloodborne, and you guys helped me with like the fucking the Chalice dungeons?
The Chalice dungeons.
Right, okay.
I played through that whole game, and we played that game like together simultaneously, like saying like, oh, like, which boss are you on? Oh, cool. Like, I haven't fought that boss. So how do you do this? And it was really fun. That was a great experience. And then we did all the Chalice dungeons. I think you guys had already each gotten the platinum, and I was going for the platinum too. And like, I only had one trophy left, and I had one Chalice dungeon left. We were like, okay, we've done it all. I think we only have to do the Chalice dungeon with like Yarnum in it, and then like I'll get the platinum. And you guys were totally in, and we've been playing for hours. And you know, at this point, you know, like, cumulatively, I've played like 150 hours of the game or something. And, you know, anyone who's even heard of a From Software game knows they're fucking hard.
Yeah.
They're hard games. And, like, to me, they're the hardest games I've ever played by a mile. And, like, I have a love-hate relationship with them. And then, as soon as we started the Chalice dungeon, like, as soon as you need the, like, goblet or whatever fucking bullshit, like, you have to put on the thing to, like, go into the next Chalice dungeon, like, I don't know what happened, and I still don't know to this day, like, but like half the like locations and stuff were just gone. Like, half the locations, half the Chalice dungeons, half of like some bosses were finished, some weren't. It was like it was quasi corrupted, my file, but like, I've never heard of that before. It's either like corrupted or it's not, and you can play it or you can't. So I still don't know what happened, but I will never play that game again.
Right.
I'm not going back
trouble.
to that.
Yeah.
Like, that pissed me off so much that I was just like, all right, I'm done. Like, I can't do this ever again.
Yeah.
So that's definitely mine.
Actually, you know, that does remind me. I think a better like way to describe what I was talking about was that I have experiences for the stats that I have on Apex that I will never get back again. So basically, I have stats, like, it's just me, of course, like, no one else knows this, but it's like, before certain updates, like, for instance, Pathfinder's update, like, you know, when they made it easier to like, we're talking long before, like, Pathfinder 15-second cooldown for his grapple hook. People don't like playing as him as him in the beginning of the game because it was just too hard to figure out how to, like, you know, use the grapple hook. And, you know, I took pride in playing that guy because he was the underdog compared to, like, the big three, when it was like, Bloodhound,
Yeah.
Wraithen, fucking, Bangalore.
Right,
Like,
these were like in
no one,
the earlier days of Apex
yeah.
when like we were literally just seeing pretty much like only you playing Pathfinder.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people
No
weren't
one,
really
no
playing
one would
him.
play it because like if you missed your hook, you would get a cooldown, a 15-second cooldown.
Right.
So you didn't know what the distance was because there was no like that context sensitivity for it. But then they changed it with a reticle, and then you don't. If you miss it, you don't get the penalty, right? So then now people are playing it a little bit more, and then they finally discover, like, I don't know why it took so many people so long to figure out that, like, it's amazing to be him because you can get angles and hooks with the grapple hooks in ways that no other player can. And you could, like, close distances from, like, super far away or make distance just to escape, and they will never forget you.
Right.
So it's like, and then they broke his fucking hitbox, and that's when everybody wanted to play him. And so
Yeah,
I have stats of like that I feel like was like this. I fucking put an effort and time to learn how to play that character to a T, and now like it's as if like everybody and their mama played Pathfinder, and then now the reverse is happening, where it's like now that they they made the cooldown so large, nobody wants to play him, and it's funny, cause like I have these stats that kind of like is kind of sweet memories for myself, but I can't say the same for any other game save, because like for instance, if I were to play Final Fantasy right now and try to beat it all over again, it's fine because I already have those memories and the associated like save to that it's just gonna be better because now I know what I'm doing, So I don't know if I'm ever gonna get another game where like I can play through it once and then have this game save that has some sweet fond memories that will never happen again. It's not that random because like most single player games you're playing is just like okay, point A, point B, and then you do the best you can, and you get the highest score and that's it, right? That's you peaked. That's it. You never get. You can then delete that whole thing and then just peak again. Versus like in my perception is like the only thing I can think of is like Apex or I mean sure, maybe a multiplayer game, other multiplayer game, but that's not my view. Well, who else has this a game save that they would not want to lose? So Carlos and Boris, it's the last two that can chime in about that.
I asked the question, but I genuinely don't have an answer for that. Especially because the only game that I can think of right now that I played fucking hundreds of hours other than the Souls games was Breath of the Wild. And in that game, I unlocked so much. I went everywhere, but it's the kind of, again, when it comes to a single player game, it's the kind of experiences you can have again. You can definitely play it again. But I don't know. In the case of Breath of the Wild,
but yeah, the first time
you can, but do you want to?
Yeah. Exactly. Like I could play it again, but I'm not gonna have the same experiences. The same amount of discovery that I have with that game. Like it was this one particular time when I discovered a whole side quest just because I got distracted and I just wanted to get a fucking torch, but I didn't have enough in my inventory, so I wanted to break a sword just to get enough inventory space. So I went to some random mountain where I knew I could get some loot and a torch. Then I look up and I'm like, oh, I've been to that mountain. Scale all the way to the mountain. There's this there's this great dragon that's flying around, and it just triggers this awesome. This awesome cutscene, and this awesome gameplay loop, and I'm like, oh my god, that's never going to happen again. And I finally end up, just looking into the distance, just, lighting up a fire and thinking, okay, how did I get here?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's I'm just never going to have that type of experience in the game again, even if I played it over.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the experience. Again, it's the experience part. But I guess the real question is like,
especially with open world games like that, where exploration is the name of the game. Like I feel that way about like the Fallout game, or Fallout New Vegas and 3 especially, and then like Skyrim, things like that, where it's just like it's not random. Like it is programmed and it's made to be like that, but it's also like it feels random and it feels magical, and
Yeah.
it's all these different variables mashing together in a way that you won't get again.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is. I definitely understand that for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Boris? Is there a game
There's
save that
like
would you never like? It'd be devastating to lose. Basically.
yeah, there's like a bunch of like games, but let's see like Final Fantasy Tactic 7 and
Hmm.
Suikoden 1 and 2 for the PlayStation original PlayStation.
Okay.
Those are good
Okay.
picks.
That's some. Wow. Some old ones, right? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
It's
all.
like the PlayStation like yeah you put like they're like save systems like different from like current yeah systems for the save game.
Right. Right.
It will like and this all like what like 15 left for like the memory cards for the PlayStation.
Right. I remember that. Yeah. I remembered.
So you
Yeah.
have to like buy a bunch of those.
Oh, thank you. Looks delicious. Sorry. If anybody's hearing this right now, I'm Brenda, my wife, just dropped off some pasta. It looks delicious.
Oh well. Hope you brought the whole. I hope you brought for the whole class.
But yeah, for the whole podcast, everybody's gonna get it. I'm gonna digitally send it to you in the PSN. If you connect to our, if you submit to our Patreon, you'll get the pasta, no problem.
Yeah, they probably have gigabit internet. I mean, it'll download quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, we're reviving him. That's why he's saying thank you. Must interpret.
Yeah.
Must interpret to people that they're just listening. Okay. What was this? Shit. What was I thinking? Damn.
What were you thinking? We were thinking that.
Oh, you know
you're
what?
gonna
We
eat
didn't
with
bring
your
up.
wife?
Okay, what about the events? I mean, not events. The DLC so far, and we haven't played the newest one, by the way. For Borderlands, what is everybody's thoughts on the DLC that has come out so far? Is it lackluster, shitty? Is it awesome? Do you expect more?
I mean,
You mean the
like
new one, or?
I mean, all of them
I
so
haven't
far.
played it.
no, the first two, and I guess the raid. Yeah, I mean, I like them. They're always funny, and I like it's pretty amazing because they're actually rolling out the DLC on like the same schedule that they did for Borderlands 2 with like the big DLCs, the 4 main DLCs for that, where they're coming out with them every 3 months, which is amazing. Like
What
it's
a
like,
concept! Just playing a game.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's awesome. And the first one was pretty good. The Handsome Jack Casino one, that was good. It was funny. I'm a little. I mean, Handsome Jack's a great villain, but I'm a little sick of seeing him in Borderlands. Like, just because we've seen him
Yeah.
so many times in Borderlands 2, and then
Like, give me new characters.
yeah, I mean, and they got plenty of characters, but it's just like seeing him again. It's just like, okay, like it's funny and it was cool, but I like the second one a lot. I like the second DLC a lot.
Yeah, that one was great.
Especially because that was like, it was like this was like Lovecraftian, and it was weird, and it was focusing on like Hammerlock and can't remember his fiance's name, but like I love those characters, and Hammerlock was a great character from Borderlands 2, and I thought it was awesome when they brought him back for this one. And then his fiance, the guy who took over to Jacob's gun line, he was like my favorite new character in Borderlands 3. So it was cool seeing a story for them. And an added bonus was that, like, I think that DLC came out right after I had finished watching Castlevania Season 3, like the Castlevania
Oh yeah.
Netflix show. I remember you and I were talking about it, Sean.
Yeah.
And we were, cause like, you know, we all liked the first 2 seasons of Castlevania, and I don't remember talking to you about it, Carlos, but I remember talking to Sean about the season 3 of Castlevania, and we were both pretty underwhelmed with it. It was not what we wanted at all, and we felt like I definitely felt like the story was, it was off. There was a lot of filler there, but I mean, the point is like basically you go into the second DLC of Borderlands 3, and it was like, I remember saying while we were playing it, because it was me, Sean, Boris, and Brenda, we were playing it, and I was like, man, like, this is like the Castlevania season 3 that I wanted, like playing this DLC, because it was very much almost Castlevania, like gothic, like Bloodborne-esque. Like you go into a weird town and there's all these weird people, and there's like this weird like sickness that's like taken over, and you're not sure what's going on, and you like have to kill all these weird like occultist, like a cult-esque like creatures and stuff. And I was just like, this is really awesome. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Like, this is like playing a good version of Castlevania Season 3. And so it was, I liked the DLC a lot. And the raid that was very tough. The first raid was very tough, but I think we had fun with it, so.
Yeah, I definitely had fun with it, for sure. Force, you have an opinion on
Castlevania.
Okay. I mean, actually, Boris, have you seen Castlevania? Like, the animated? Like,
no.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing we didn't say anything spoilery. Anyways, but,
Except the Mario shows up and kills everybody with Bowser.
well, what are your thoughts on, Borderlands' DLC? Like, is there anything that you liked, disliked? Overall impressions?
Overall, I don't have
No?
Alright, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Honestly, it's been, for me, it's just been kind of unmemorable. I can barely even remember what I played about it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, I can get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, like, the last DLC that you played, which one was it?
Honestly, I can't remember. That's how memorable
I'm pretty sure it was the Handsome Jack one.
It was the casino one,
I'm pretty
right?
sure, because
I
that
remember
was
us
pretty
playing that.
underwhelming when that came out.
Yeah.
I was actually, I really hope this is not what I'm going to expect for the rest of the game.
Can I get a revive over here?
Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. I tried.
It's okay, I'm dead.
Yeah, I think the Henshin, like,
what?
you should definitely check out, like, the one after that one. It's the, what was it?
Okay.
What was it? Tentacles, Love, and something, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. We can't even remember
I don't
it. We just-
Yeah,
So
I mean,
maybe that's definitely one of my general complaints about Borderlands. Half the time I don't really know what's going on because the story is kind of fluid a little.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like it's here for the you're just here to have a good time. It's not like
Well, I mean, it's always, it's always, like, the dialogue is always coming in, mostly when you're, like, being bombarded by all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just, like, you kind of half absorb it and half, like, forget it, and then, you take a few months away from it and you don't really remember anything.
Right. And I'm pretty sure too, playing like solo might be a little bit better to absorb things, whereas when you're playing with friends,
That's definitely true,
Woo!
because I played all of Borderlands 1 and 2 by myself, and I remember 2 especially, because I didn't really like 1, but 2 especially, I remember that game really well. And this one, I played with you guys from launch. Like, this was the first one where I was like, oh man, I've got a team at launch, and I can't remember a lot of the stuff about the story.
Right.
Interesting. What made you come back to the second one, even though you didn't really like the first?
I remember, because with the first one, that I got that game for free because that was the year that was years ago. But 2011, when the PSN went out for a month, and they gave like people like 2 free games during the summer,
Right.
and I was in college and I didn't have a job during the summer, and I was just like, I'll just play it, and I was like, I'm bored, so I guess I'll play it, and it was okay, but I didn't really like it. And for the second one, I wasn't really anticipating it. I was like, okay, whatever. But then I saw the reviews, and I think I watched some live streams and stuff, and I'm like, this looks really cool. I'll give it a chance, and yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I agree on that aspect. 2 was like definitely the most solid. In fact, actually, 1 I don't even think I actually played it. Like I looked at it and I was like, this is not probably what I want to get into. And honestly, like it was really bad from what I can tell. Borderlands 2 though,
super empty,
super
and,
big
not
difference.
interesting.
I think 2 is like
for sure.
Definitely they
2 is still my favorite, honestly.
Yeah, like they have like, and on top of that, it's such good. It's even better with all the DLC. The DLC is just what made it like.
Yeah, the DLC
so
is amazing.
Crazy good. So I mean, so like back to the DLCs. I think if you get a chance to play the Lovecraftian one, you'll definitely. I think you'll see like what we mean by like it's really fun and like the characters are really wacky and the enemy types that you meet isn't just giant bullet sponges.
Right.
They actually...
Yeah, Tiny Tina is just wonderful.
Indeed. So yeah, let's... right after this, I think we'll take a break and hit up some of the... what was it? Some of the DLC, I guess? I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm level 53. So.
53. Woo!
Oh. It's gonna be sad when our in-game level. It's good. It's gonna be sad when our in-game level is actually about half the age of matches. Only half our age. We're like, oh, I'm level 40. I really wish it was like that, in real life.
It's nice that the items now actually say what mayhem level they are. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Actually, it says that now. That's interesting.
Oh, I can see inside of you, Boris.
Creepy.
You actually have a back. I know. I'm not looking into your
Talking
prison.
about the game.
Well, now I am.
Audience as well.
Yeah, we need to emphasize that. Oh, man.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Be whoever you want to be, but I just want to clarify that Carlos is talking about seeing inside of Boris in the game. His character.
In the game, yes.
He's not giving him an impromptu colonoscopy or anything.
Yep, and I'm definitely not qualified. So the judges says.
At least not until the social distancing thing is over. Then we'll see.
That's true. Oh man, it's funny.
Christmas will never be the same.
Let's see what's everybody's favorite NPC character in this
game?
one? Yeah, in this one. Probably mine would be. I enjoyed. Reese, I think it was.
Oh.
Who's Reese?
I mean, not Reese. Is it Reese? I can't remember his name now.
From you're talking about the guy from Borderlands.
Yeah,
Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah. What?
Oh yeah, Reese.
Yeah.
With the mustache?
Yeah, with the mustache. Yeah.
The corporate executive.
Yeah. I liked him. He was really funny to me. Like he was probably one of the one that shined the most, I guess.
Yeah, on that note, actually, since we're talking about characters from Tales from the Borderlands, I really do hope, because they showed Reese and they showed Vaughn, who were like 2 of the main characters, I really hope we see like the other main characters of that game in the DLC. Because I would love to see like Fiona and Sasha, the other 2 main characters. Because Tales from the Borderlands is excellent, and I would love to see that, like, where they are.
Right. Oh yeah, actually, everybody played Borderlands 2. That another question we can answer here is what's a character that you want to see return that we haven't seen in.
Maya. Maya.
I mean, we've seen her. Spoiler alert.
Make her return,
spoilers, she's dead.
Hey, I didn't say she was there. You guys spoiled her.
I mean,
We
talking
just-
about that
we
fucking
just-
DLC. I feel like spoilers. I guess we should have given a spoiler alert at the beginning, but yeah, spoilers for Borderlands. Now that we're an hour and a half into the podcast, spoilers for Borderlands 3. If you haven't played it,
Fair
we're
warning.
sorry.
Fair warning.
We'll be better in future episodes.
Please
about
don't
that,
cancel
but,
us.
Thanks, Apollo. You just made this. You just made this podcast even more unlistenable than it already was.
Classic.
I mean, I feel like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel anyway. So
I mean,
yeah,
we are
pretty
we
safe.
are the Goob Squad. We're just a bunch of foolish
That's
people.
what we do. Yeah.
Didn't we kind of start the Goob Squad kind of in Destiny 2? What did we call ourselves?
No, we called it Han Shot first.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's
It's
actually
amazing
the
that you
tag I
remember
have.
that. I don't,
Yeah,
but I guess it's
It's-
because I've tried to wipe that
Yes.
game.
No
from my
worries.
memory.
I remember it because I was the one that created it. So it's like I think that's like the only
Right,
reason
right.
why it's stuck in my head. But
Yeah.
by the way, so since we're at this part of the podcast, wait, okay. So did everybody get a chance to answer those questions? Is there any other
What would
characters that you want to
What
see
were the
return? What's your favorite NPC
I mean,
character?
I do want. I want to see more Tiny Tina for sure because we got very
Yes,
little
very
of her
little
in
of
the
her,
main
yeah.
game. And she's just such a great
Yeah.
character, and Ashley Birch does such a great job as her. So yeah, I'd like to see her and the girls from Tells from Borderlands come back. That'd be great.
Okay. Anybody else? Nothing else. All right. So then we're gonna
Oh wait,
go on.
the other stuff. The other. It'd be cool to see the other Vault Hunters from 2 as well, like Salvador and
Yes.
Axton.
Yes.
We didn't see them at all. So
Yeah.
even if it's just like one of those tape, like those videotape like cameos, because if I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a couple of tapes in the game by Krieg.
Yes, I want. That's
the
what I was gonna say.
Psycho-
That's the one I want to see return from
Krieg.
DLC.
Yeah, and
for sure.
they're setting up his
100%.
story in the tapes
Yeah.
because like they're making it like an Incredible Hulk thing
Mhm.
where he's like Bruce Banner and he's like talking to Krieg.
Yeah, he's
Like,
he's
and
talking to Creed
he's
himself.
switching between personalities.
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
There's I forget what it is. Like he calls himself something else, right? Like what Krieg is talking to the actual like Krieg is
Yeah.
actually intelligent,
Yeah,
and then he's talking to the evil whatever the psycho side of him, which
yeah.
is really cool, and I like it. I want to see him especially because I mained him. He's my favorite character to use in Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, for better or worse. Anyways, what about you, Boris? What is your take on that? Like, what's your favorite NPC in this current one, and what is the one that you want to see later on from the BL2 for a DLC maybe or a return?
Probably like Zero.
Oh, you still want? Yeah,
Oh,
you want to
see
keep
more
me
of
seeing
him?
more of him? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's so
his the little bit of the shipping that they're trying to do with that. I definitely like to see more of it. Between
Yeah.
him and what's her face. Again, another character. I'm just bad with names, okay? So we just need to accept that.
I'm surprised you even remember my name.
What? Alex, right?
I don't.
Your
Yes,
brother's
it's
name is Carlos.
close enough.
What?
Whatever happened to Athena? From
Good
Mm.
question. I love Athena. That's a great
Basic-
question. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
last time we
okay.
saw
That's a good
her,
one.
yeah, she was captured, I think, in
Yeah, they captured her,
the
right?
pre-sequel because they capture her in Tales from the Borderlands, and then we see her
Yeah.
in pre-sequel like being interrogated. I
Yeah.
never finished pre-sequel. You're the only one I think who finished it, Carlos. So
Yeah, I
do
actually
you
didn't
remember
finish
what
it either.
happens to her? Because she's one of the main playable characters in the game. So I only played like 5 or 6 hours of that game. And
What?
I think canonically
did
that's
finish it.
like as far as we've seen her in the storyline.
Yeah, yeah, because it does. The game does actually intersect Borderlands 2, and it goes a little bit of
Yeah.
after that. I remember just her ending up in good terms with what's her face. You
Lilith?
know, yeah, with Lilith. Um,
Okay.
hmm. But honestly, I can't remember the ending again, just because most of it. And the only thing I remember from the ending is that the last boss fight is a fucking piece of bullshit. That I
That's the only takeaway you get.
I was so fucking pissed trying to do that thing. You have no idea.
Okay, all
It was
right.
like the fucking Dark Souls of Borderlands. It's not fair. I should show. Oh my god! I'm going to send you. I'm gonna send you the last part of my fight in that stupid bullshit because they literally, ended it. You're fighting a stupid ship that's shooting you from all sides, and there's aliens shooting you from all sides, and there's very little health and ammo that's actually coming up, with you. I was on my knees on fight for your life, and I just finished that fight with the last, rocket that I had in my rocket
nice.
launcher.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah. It was a really dramatic. It was a really dramatic end. But more than feeling relieved, I just felt like fuck this fucking bullshit. I'm never playing it again. Even though it honestly has one of the better looks of the series.
Okay, all right. So that's everybody, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah, Athena,
Yeah,
that's a good choice. That's a good choice.
All right. So okay, and then let's go with so let's see. All right, one, how does everybody think about wanting to do a gameplay recording? Everybody does their own recording session of when we first impressions of like our first either it could be a whole playthrough or just the first part or whatever of when cyber or we could do that. Yes, Ghost of Tsushima. I was saying Cyberpunk because the reason why I was going to say Cyberpunk is because you could apparently play that game in multiple different ways. Basically, like no one, all three of us, or all four of us, could play it. We all record ourselves, and then we, just have like a gameplay. Like we're gonna play different ways. Like we'll commit.
Right.
Like each of us should commit to being like playing different from another, and what we'll do.
Well, even if we don't commit, it'll be very.
Right. True.
The way CD Projekt Red makes their game.
Right, so we'll try. We'll figure it out more deeply, like because obviously some people want to play a certain way. So we'll think about
Sean,
it.
I'm a single man in my at 35. I definitely have commitment problems.
Okay, right, but yeah, if anybody, if anybody's like listening to this and watching this, like what if that's something you want to see, that we'll definitely go for it. Otherwise, it'll be up in the air, and we'll figure out the logistics and how we're going to do it. And then lastly, a little bit of a clue of where Goob comes from. So that the reason why we are called Goob, and some of you guys probably don't even know this, but Goob is an urban dictionary. It defines it as a slang term. Is generally used to call someone a name, but in a loving and endearing type of way. The slang term is used to define someone who is acting silly or stupid. It is often said in an endearing way rather than the derogatory or negative way. So, for those that are listening, that's what we're called the Goob Squad, because we do silly and stupid things, but we do it endearingly.
I actually didn't know that. To be honest.
Yeah.
So, hey.
I thought we were just calling ourselves that because it was like, oh, we're not good, we're Goob. Like we're just average.
Yeah.
Because we make that joke where we're all like, if we put our skills together, we're all one average man.
Yeah.
I thought that's.
So but it fits that narrative, right?
It does. Yeah,
it still plays into it. Yeah. So stick around, watch our gameplays, and we'll get our own stuff set up, and maybe some of us will start doing streaming. We'll see. We just need to get all the equipment and all the logistics out of the way to figure that out. thanks for joining. Thanks for listening and viewing. For the one person out there that's probably gonna listen to us and see this video.
Thanks, D'Angelo.
Thanks, Mom.
We appreciate your patronage. Now, pay us. Please.
Yeah. Click on that Patreon. Pay my mortgage.
Pay my mortgage.
Oh my god. All right. Anybody else has any last things to say before I?
Nope.
Oof. I mean, I have something very significant to say, but I forgot it.
Well done.
Perfect.
Yeah, I had something that was gonna change people's lives, and it was just gonna be amazing, and just
We'll
give
get
them all the
to it
happiness in
next
the world.
episode.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z.
Unless
Yeah.
we forget, you know.
All right, Boris. You're our special guest, so you get to say the last word.
Huh? Well, like, I don't know.
Perfect.
Perfect. End
Sign us
record
out.
now.
Yeah.
Ship it.